Hello, hi there. This is Raymond Chua. Today I'm going to demo on how I post-process the Milky Way photo taken by a colleague of mine and to show you how I really make it pop. So I open the picture, which is a JPEG file in Photoshop, and as you can see now it's on the screen and the Milky Way is appearing there, but it's rather dark. So I'm going to enhance it at the same time also enhancing or brighten up the foreground, the statue and the trees and the bushes around. So let's begin. On the layer panel, you see there is only a copy called background copy. That is the original copy of the file. So in order to protect that file, I will duplicate the file another layer so that I work on the duplicate layer by pressing Ctrl J. Control J will generate a similar layer they call it automatically layer 1. So I will work on layer 1. So there's a backup layer called background in case I need to revert to original again. So it's a good practice. So with the layer 1 selected, I will go to filter and select camera raw filter. Click it and you will open up the camera raw interface. This is the workspace of the camera raw filter, and you'll see the panel on the right are all still 0 all the way down, meaning no adjustment done yet. So we're going to start off by adjusting the exposure up to increase the brightness slightly. Usually around 1 to 1.5 is sufficient. So you eyeball on your picture, and as you turn up and you stop whenever you feel it is sufficient. Next slider you go to is shadows. Here we want to brighten up the shadow, which is the dark area of the photograph, the wall behind and the bushes at the side. So increasing the shadow will brighten up this dark area. Generally also around 70%, or 80 to 70 is is sufficient. But don't overdo it also, just more in moderation up to 70 or 80. Again, your own taste. We will then move down to, another thing which I sometimes did was to increase the white point to generally brighten up the overall picture a bit. Okay, the white point move to the right a little bit. 30 to 40 is quite a usual figure. We then move down and we'll not do any more in this panel, but we'll move down to the next one, which is color. Again, we don't do much in this panel, but on the effect below, we're going to use the dehaze slider, which is the third one. And moving the dehaze slider up, you can see it really enhances the Milky Way. Generally darken a little bit, but of course the Milky Way pop up now from the background. So it's something which we will welcome because this is what the intention of this editing is all about. So again, amount is up to your own liking or your own taste. And that's about all we need to do for the camera raw filter. Okay, the rest of the slider we will leave it alone. And press OK at the end, at the bottom of the panel, there's an OK button. So pressing that will return you back to Photoshop. Okay, this is the copy which we worked on, and there is a slight improvement over the original one. Okay, and you can see the Milky Way now is a little bit more obvious, and it's better than the original. But we're going to work on this layer further to enhance the thing. So go down to the bottom where you see a adjustment layer icon, the one with a half black, half white, and you click that and adjust and go on to select the curves adjustment. Click and it will give you a curve adjustment interface where you can adjust the line to make it an S curve. Okay, but you go back to the curve first. Go to the curve. Go to the layer first. Or sorry, you just go straight to the hand tool, and clicking the hand tool will allow you to pick I pick up a point on the curve which is related to the brightest point on the Milky Way, which you can see there's a point on the line now registered. As you click and you drag it upward slowly, you find that you will brighten up that particular area more, while at the same time the other area also brighten up slightly. This is what I want to enhance the Milky Way, the contrast area, the contrast of the Milky Way, the bright and the dark area. Then you move your eyedropper, still on the hand tool, move your eyedropper to another point which is on the dark area and drag it down. So by generating a slight S curve, you are giving more contrast, particularly to the Milky Way. Oh, that was a mistake. So I can Control Z to undo that. Control Z is to undo. So we have now got an S curve. And now overall the picture is affected slightly, but the Milky Way is now even more brilliant, more contrasty. You see a white mask automatically generated, and this white mask will tell you that whatever you adjusted is now applied onto the layer one below. If I toggle it off, you can see that it was the original condition. Now I toggle it back, you can see the thing is applied, the adjustment is applied throughout. If you want to selectively apply only on the curve on the Milky Way and the sky only, whereas the ground you don't want to apply the effect, you can generate a black mask. So change the white mask to that of a black mask. So to change the white to a black, there is a shortcut key which you press called Control plus I. I press Control I and the mask change to black color. Black will mean that whatever is adjusted now is not shining through or not applied onto the bottom layer. It is blocking the effect. Okay, and this is where we can have some adjustment on your own possible by making the mask either totally transparent or totally opaque. Totally opaque is black. Partially transmitting is gray. And totally what it means is totally passing through. So we have latitude of adjustment for your opacity so that you can choose how much of the light is passing through to the bottom layer. Okay, as you can see, we are selecting on brush tool and then select a brush which is going to be very soft. So with the hardness equal to 0%, drag it all the way down. And with the size of about 1004 pixel. How big is this 1004 pixel? As you can, when you put the cursor on the diagram, you can see the size is equivalent to the size of the brush. I'm going to increase it slightly to make the painting less tedious. So make it as big as possible for the first part of brushing by using the key open bracket or close bracket next to the letter P. One will increase the brush size and one will decrease the brush size by pressing that key. Okay, so this is obviously increasing, and then the other key will reduce it. Okay, so a very simple tool to use. So probably we will increase it to maybe this size. Okay, and now start to paint. Before we paint, we modify the opacity of the brush. Remember, 100% means totally applied, but when it is 25%, it means only partially applied only. So that means you're painting with a very light gray by using 25% brush opacity. So brush throughout the sky, generally only apply onto the sky. You need not to be very accurate because it's a very soft brush and also a very low opacity. So you won't affect so much by applying that throughout. So no need to be super accurate. You can see the icon change to a gray mask there, but the bottom part is still black. Change the opacity next to 50%. And now target only at the Milky Way. Make it smaller a little bit and start brushing those above Milky Way. Those below you don't touch because they are quite bright already. So you don't want to over enhance that area. Okay. If you're happy with that, then go ahead and modify the brush to 75%. So we do in slow increment of 25%. Again, change the brush size to slightly smaller again. All right, and then just brush onto the Milky Way. So you don't see the obvious transition from one area to another area. This is the method. And finally, 100%, make the brush even smaller and tap onto the area where you want it to be even more darker or brighter. Okay, you can selectively tap on those areas. All right, it looks nicer now. Okay, where the Milky Way part is very much enhanced, whereas the general background are not. Okay, and you can see the icon showing what was painted over the mask. Maybe we toggle off and toggle on and see the effect. This is before adjustment applied, and now this is after adjustment. Some obvious difference. Huh? So this is what should be done to bring out the Milky Way, and also leaving the background layer properly uh, exposed in a way. You can actually stop at this point and then save the file and complete the job, but you can also do extra work on it. You maybe feel that the sky on top is too dark and you want to generate slightly increase the brightness slightly so that it's more punchy. You can go to the adjustment layer again, but now this time choose levels. Clicking on the levels, you add another adjustment layer right on top. And this is an adjustment layer. Now it is actually a slider at the bottom. You toggle out, you can see there's still a mask and icon to show that it's an adjustment layer. So again, it's a white mask. So whatever applied is applied throughout. Okay, in this layer. So we go back to the level, the adjustment point whereby we can drag the slider on the right towards the center. As you drag, you look at the picture and see at which point you should stop. Don't overdo it, and you will spoil the picture. What happens if you go all the way to the center? Show you. If you go all the way to the center, everything will be blown up. And it may be it may be okay to someone, but it may look too bright. So in moderation, okay, just adjust it slightly to brighten up will do. Go back the layer, you can see everything is applied onto the picture below. Here we don't have to do painting if we choose not to, unless there's a reason to to do painting again using the brush tool to or to sort of avoid certain area to be brightened. You can do that. So generally, this is what need to be done in order to make the Milky Way pop. And the step which I did just now was go to flatten the layer. Make the layer all flattened together by using layer flatten. And finally, we want to crop the picture so that we can crop away the unwanted area on the right hand side, the bushes which is too bright. And we use the preset of 2:3, 3:2, or 3:2, and the preset crop is 3:2, and we drag the corner and crop it away so that the brighter part and then this something which is you don't want to appear can be cropped away. And once it's done that, you click commit button. This is a commit button. You can also press enter to commit the change. All right. So this is perhaps the end of the thing, but you can actually put some text on the bottom to indicate when and where is this taken, and this is like a record for your own safekeeping. You can use any text, any size, but depending on the picture size, you want to increase the text size to slightly bigger ones, so your own personal preference, and then type in your name, the place you're taken, and the date. Usually these are the three which will be often be typed in as a description for this particular image. So I type in some name and then location, where is it taken. So type slowly and then separated by the date this picture was taken. So that as a record for the viewer as well as for yourself. Size and font is up to your preference. At the moment, the text is at the wrong place, which is not likely to be there. So you use the move tool right on the top there and make sure you're still in the text. This is a move tool, and then make sure you're pointing at the text layer and then to drag it down to somewhere in the bottom so that it's not obstructive. It can be somewhere in the center or at the side. It doesn't matter. So once that is done, we have completed what we were supposed to do. Again, go to layer, flatten layer. And then file save as. You save it in the same folder and maybe change the name or change the picture name to something descriptive or add something to indicate that it has been edited. So I usually leave it as original file name but put the edited behind so that I know this file has been done before. And it's going to be quite a big file with a quality of maximum 10. It is about 12 megapixel. Usually I like to save something of that size, so that in case need to be printed, this can really give you a good printing quality. But if you want to save it for Facebook or share not in the in the media, perhaps don't have to save it as such a big file. You can reduce the file size by changing the resolution. So I'm going to do that now. Click on File, Image Size. The image size right now is so huge, it's 7,000 by 5,000 plus, and the resolution is 3,000 pixel per inch. We don't need that for display on screen. Usually suggested is 72 pixel per inch. So we can actually modify that to 72. Once you change it to 72, the width and the height of the picture also reduces to something smaller, 1000 plus and 1000 plus also. So 1009 or 1008, and then the height is 1003 or 1002. It's still a big file, although it looks like so small now. But when you zoom in or when you enlarge it, you can see very detailed photo. How to zoom in? Use the zoom tool below. Click, and once you click, you bring it to the picture. Click few more times, it will zoom out. And this is probably as good as the original. Okay, but it's a lower resolution and smaller file size. Okay, so this is what you should do for editing of a Milky Way photo. Thanks a lot.